What's going on, Danny Crew? It's Danny Drew here, and we are back for another day of Catan. Now, this is going to be the part 2 of the final day series where I go from, well, I'm not going to say 0 to hero, but I end up going to #1 in the world. It was an 11-game excursion, all played in one day, and we did in the previous video. I will put it somewhere in the comments or in the description below. You got to see my game 3, which was a pretty tough loss. So I'm gone 3 losses at the start of the day. And now we are going into game 4. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. But as you can see, 11 games played in one day to get the #1. It was a roller coaster. Let's put it that way. But let's jump in. Let's kind of go through this. I'm going to kind of relive the game as much as I can and hopefully provide as much strategic and tactical insight as I can so you can become a better player. Let's dive in. We got game 4 here, and usually when I look at a board, what I like to do is look at all the individual resources first. I think a lot of newer players will typically look at a single spot and say like, oh, the 695 or the 8510. That's kind of jumping ahead a little bit versus if you can look at all the individual resources and get a sense of what's rare, what's accessible, that's going to give you the best way to create a strategic insight of what's going on with this board. But all right, some key things to note here. A lot of ore. The wheat is decent amount with the 8-5 and the 11, but it is kind of isolated here to the 5 is kind of in its own little world. The 4, 5, 8 could certainly leave somebody off the 8 here, and the 11's not much to be desired. The brick is kind of piled here on the left, so it kind of feels like 1 or 2 players are going to get access to the brick, and that's a very interesting note here for sure. And I'd say really the resource that stands out to me the most is going to be the sheep and the wood. It's kind of piled. Also, but the sheep is not really, there's not a lot here. It's definitely the least produced resource on this board, I would say. So, feels like the brick's going to be interesting. There's going to be a decent amount of development cards being played with the ore and the wheat. Kind of feels like potentially the road player is going to get an interesting advantage. Whoever takes the brick pile here, they're going to have a pretty big domination. So, there you go. That's my take there. What do you would take here in first? What do you guys like? What's favorite to you here? Bjorkai saying the 8-5-10 at the bottom. Okay. 8-4-5 coming from equipped. 8-5-10 top side. Oh, 3 different people, 3 different picks. Gotta love how Catan is. Top 8-5-10. Yeah, it's a pretty solid pick. You know, generally speaking, I like to pick up ore on the way back because I usually find that allows me to build cities faster or buy development cards. But 8-5-10, fantastic pick. Even like the 6-9-5, pretty good. 8-4-5, picking up the sheep. And then I think the 8-5-10 at the bottom left, all of these work. So I think for first, second, third, you're going to see some kind of variation here. Fourth, who is frame control, us. I think we've got a pretty interesting choice on how this is going to work out for us. So let's see. Let's go through here. To me, I mean, just the way I am, I really try to find my nook. I try to find my edge. Honestly, the 6-9-4 is interesting. But okay, 8-5-10 goes down. I think it's a very sensible pick. You get kind of one of the best ore and wheat combos. Hard to say it's a bad pick, for sure. 1 minute bonus. I mean, if someone's already seen the video, Julia, it doesn't matter, right? All right, 6-9-5 coming down as well. The reason this pick, one thing with the 6-9-5 is you have to come to the conclusion that you're probably not getting wheat here. Because, I mean, there's a pretty good shot the 8-4-3 just goes. So that is a thing as well. All right, so then 8-5-10 goes. All right, Danny Crew. So we're in the 4th position. What a crazy situation here. Now, if you've seen this position, if you've seen this game on YouTube, don't give away what I did because that's not cool. But what would you do here? How do you find an edge? How do you find an advantage on this board? Let's get some ideas. Let's get some suggestions here. It's still fun. Yeah. I mean, it's just like the odds. You know, if they already know the result, it's rigged. All right, 6-9-4, 8-4-3. Okay, so 8-4-3, 6-9-4. Now, are you talking about the 8-4-3 wood? Yeah. 3 woods, triple wood. The spoiler, one of these players wins. It's absolutely true. 694, 3, 4, 11. Boop is crazy. I think one thing, I'll give you a hint about how to solve this board a little bit, is you have to place it out. You guys got to be sick of me saying this at this point. You find good positions, you find little board hacks by placing it out. And there's actually a really interesting wrinkle if you do that. 843, 63, 11. 843, 63, 11. Okay. Now, if you play 843, 63, 11, what kind of game are you playing there? What are you playing for? Left box. We got 843, 63, 11 coming from Interstellar Gondola, which is, you guys said the same thing. Then we said the 694. So you guys all like the 843. That's interesting to me. OWS. Now, what if I said you shouldn't play OWS on this board? What if that's a mistake? 634, 834. 634, 834. I'll tell you something. Nobody here has actually got my pick yet. Maybe that's a little bit of a hint. In my mind, playing OWS here is a losing game because you've literally got 3 players that are going to make the claim for buying development cards. It just doesn't make sense in my mind to go into that game. So I need to build the best road game that I can, which means what? Road is wood and brick. All right, so you guys got a lot of good 694, 843, 910, 834, 694, 83. Still, nobody's got it. Nobody got it. So, all right, here's the calculation, okay? I think if you place this board out, the one thing you have to ask yourself, everyone, is the 834 ever taken? Does anybody ever take the 834 at the bottom here? Like, who would want the 843 in this situation? You could say black, but then black's what, playing 2 resources Woodport? Nuke sees it now. 694, yes. So, if you calculate this out, you've actually got a huge amount of opportunity going 694, 6311 down. And the idea is that if anyone takes the 834, their hand's flooded, so you can make trades for brick for wood all day. And if all else fails, you can just go to 411 and play off of the added, wood and wheat. So in my mind, taking the risk to have an incredible road setup makes a lot of sense here. Nobody should be interested in pure wood spot. This is what I'm saying. So you've got to place these boards out and look at what your options. So if I go let's say 694, 8311 down, blue is taking maybe 5411 or 834. This guy's probably, it's really tough. If blue takes the 834 himself, maybe this guy's going to take like the 9, 10, 11 here. And then this guy's going to pick up the sheep in the middle. It's tough. So it all really hinges on what blue's going to do now. I think potentially blue should think a little bit defensive here and maybe consider something like the 834 himself and make some trades for some of the ore that's in black's hand. But he could make the claim that 5-4-11 with the coordinated 5s is a play. But blue is kind of in a situation where he's playing development cards. So now black gets a really good looking setup for sure. Yep. So we saw this. Now, look, the thing is, this looks really strong for black. I completely agree. But he has competition, all right? He has people that will fight him on this board, and that is important to note. It's not like a clear run to the finish line. And now, what do you do as red? Yeah, here you go. Calculate. Got to calculate. Now, how good does this position look? Right? 694, 6311 down to, and you get 843. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And you only, the thing is, you can only get this spot if you calculate it out. And we got chord 6s. Really, we just need to get, we definitely need to get this spot going here. Look, everyone says black's position's crazy. So we have an amazing opportunity. And black is the starting target. It's the best. How do you think of these things? It's experience, man. But also, look, when you're playing chess, a big part of learning how to get good at chess is calculation. You have to be able to take a position and say, okay, if I make this move, how do people react? So in my mind, I go through all these different positions and I start to say, if I place here and place here, how does the board react, right? And then what's left after that? So when I saw 694, 6311, I saw that 834 is open a vast majority of time, and that's all I need to know to play this game. All right. So things are looking good. Black's a target, which is good, right? We need the board to kind of play against him a little bit. We got the 834 in our back pocket. Have you played? I've played a ton of chess. I've played a lot of chess. Look at this. We get a city, which is absolutely goated here. Absolutely goated. That's some insane thinking. But it's not. This is like, the thing is, this is how you want to become a better player. These are the things you got to learn. But we took a position, and I'm not trying to be an ass about it, but to be fair, you guys, nobody saw it. And it's right. Like, so think of all the opportunities you're missing in your games where you could build positions like this. And now we have the first city. Well, I should ask where would you city first, but I think 6-3-11's good. Helps our ratios. It brings more wheat into our hand. 6-9-4 would just be a little bit too much brick. And perfect. Look at that. 3 rolls. Now we're getting the wood that goes with the brick. Harmony. Harmony is important. One thing I saw an interview recently with Magnus Carlsen, and they essentially said, like, what is your favorite aspect of playing high-level chess? And he said, harmony. When all his pieces are working together, it's the same thing in Catan, right? When all your position is working together, you're getting the right ratios of things, you're staying actionable, you're making good trades. Harmony is like, it's a nice thing when your position just flows. And sometimes I find players force setups, like OWS setups, a lot. And they get clunky hands, they get weird trade relationships. Harmony. I think I struggle with being lazy in this game. I've played a fair bit of chess too, and when I try to treat a Catan League chess game, I've won way more than I have lately. I think it's just being a little bit more thoughtful can go a long way. Okay, so here's the thing for us. We don't need the ore anymore. Getting the city as the road player is critical. We got the city. We've done our job. All we need to do now is focus on 834, 834, 834. In the meantime, I think we need to be conscious of the dynamic on the board. How do we balance out the army game as much as we humanly can? And other than that, we're looking good here. 11 would be hella clutch too. Hella clutch. Yeah, my editing was super fast here. Jesus. Okay, so here we're going to try to get some value trades. Oh, value trade right there. 2 for 1. We take 2 for 1s. Perfect. So far, looking good. Oh man, look at this. 11 would be sick. Oh my goodness. I forgot about that. All right, so let's pause. All right, so let's take a stock of the position, okay? Dandy, your head is looking nice today. It's always looking nice, man. I appreciate that. As a good rule of thumb, you always want to kind of take stock of a position. Every time you get a point, you want to pause and say, okay, what's happening? How has the board changed? We're at 4 points. We have a ton of wood, a ton of brick. The city's already down. Nobody else has a city. We're crushing. We're absolutely crushing. And again, big brains here. And our hand's perfect too. We have a ton of wood ready for the 6 and the 9. Where would you go next here? What would be your next play? Right, we have some easy potential points here. We can go 4-11. We can go 6-2. We can also try to venture down to the brick port. I think here, I like the prospect of going to the brick port. It does a few things for us. A, our brick becomes a little bit more actionable. Also, we start the road game, right? Our whole premise here is we're going for a road. So to be able to expand while going to a useful port while contesting road, it's a 3-fer. All right, let's keep going though. Oh my goodness, what happened there? Okay, so it looks like a little bit of weirdness is going on. We don't argue about it. When it happens, it happens. Is this the vaccines, by the way? It is. All right, so big trade here, by the way. Something to notice. If you look at our hand here, we have a dead hand. I have a roll in Catan, which is if you can action every turn, your likelihood of winning the game is going to increase. So, yes, I am giving away 2 cards for an ore here, but it's giving me action. It's giving me a playable hand where I can go for the dev. And frankly, I have a ton of wood. I have a ton of sheep already. No big deal. Pulling a knight works too. I'm happy with that. I lost the Sally Apples. Sally Apples was a name. Hellman was a name. Now we're flooded with wood. The wood is just going to be absolutely goated here. Oh my goodness. Look at this hand here. I'm going to port for a wheat. I think in this position, the wheat's always good, and we should expect a decent amount of brick to enter our hand. And at this point, I'm super happy. A knight is great here. A knight's fantastic. I mean, we're always going to be able to protect our position. A VP would be great, but I'll take a knight. What's your current name? It has changed recently, to be fair. There's a lot of them. Yeah. I do play on Danny Drew from time to time. Okay, so we have a knight. We're going to kind of free up our position here. Every pull's good here. Ore's great. Wheat's good. And now we're even, like, maybe even pacing army, potentially. Wheat's great. Now a 6 is a monster roll. Do I get it? No, just wood for days. So here we buy dev. Just keep the momentum going. You know, we might even be able to fight army. 9 comes in. Let's put it this way. In Catan community, ooh, big 6. I made it a goal to make as many tournament wins as I can. I have 5 different accounts I have a tournament win in Catan community. Some of them you guys don't even know about. All right, big hand here. Big roll opportunity. What a hand. What a hand. All right, so this actually gives us... We make a trade here to go to the brick port. Now, this is a questionable play by me. I give up 2 ore. So let's go here. 2 ore for a wood. It's expensive, but I think the ability to go get the brick port here, I like it. It's expensive, but I like it. So we're going to go for it. Questionable, I mean, I could have popped, but I'm happy with this play. We're going for road. Also, too, like, we have a knight for 2 knights. We could road an army this game. The old UI is messing with me. Yeah, I mean, this is just a year ago, you know? Our red pulls out a road builder here. Danny Sens is not a name. But you never know. All right, we lose the wheat, but it doesn't matter. We got 6s galore here. So now we're in a position where yeah, it looks like a little bit of spike going on here. I've played Snakester a few times. Not a real fan of his style. He usually plays a little bit obtuse. Big 7 here on red. I think the block's pretty straightforward. We're just going to keep the pressure on black. He's clearly ahead of the pack here. And now we're going to see if we can manufacture another development card. They should never give this to me. We'll drop a road. So one way you could look at this position, by the way, there is an actual like fast play, which is we settle 6-2 for 6. We drop a road, and then we take army. That could be certainly a play. So that's why I'm trying to set up. Potentially I could have gone 11-4, but I like the idea of getting the 6 to be a pretty big roll as well. So maybe disconnecting my roads, maybe not the best idea, but whatever. Imagine if we had the wood port here. Ooh, big hit on us. Big hit. Oh my god. This is like, you know, this sucks. When you see this kind of stuff, this guy getting spiteful, I don't know. The 8 is never the block. It's definitely me there, but this is, you know, 1900 elo Catan for you. All right. We're looking for a trade here. City be massive. Yeah, we're definitely clearly in the lead. All right, there's a pop right there that could potentially be army. 11's massive. Julia likes the double win con. You can't always get it. There we go. So now we pop here. Oh, interesting. So thinking about this now, I just realized blue actually has 2 down dillies. So very likely they have army. So I think just grabbing the city, having the brick port, it's a massive play for us. If blue didn't have the 2 down development cards, I might consider popping just so I can maybe get into the army race. But I'm kind of putting him on the fact that he's probably got army. So But it's fine with me. Him having army just slows down the rest of the board. Hydrate. Thank you. A lot of talking. So now we're just like, we're gunning for it. Settle, road, settle is the win. Oh my goodness. Big roll, big roll. 6s and 9s. I don't think we've actually had a lot of 9s. Oof. Blue should hit us. I don't think he is, though. Yeah, I mean, now it's just like, we just need to close out this game. Oof. Yeah, so now we're going to put pressure on blue. He's definitely in the lead. We need the rolls. We need the rolls. Boom, baby. Oh, man, the 7's murking us. Well, hopefully we lose the brick here. That would be the best steal for sure. Oh my god, he doesn't rob from us. I totally forgot blue was throwing this game. That's so sad to see, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right. Now we just go take road. We don't deal with any shenanigans. I mean, actually thinking about it, I don't think blue can actually take road. Oh, he could. He could, right? He has 6. But here we're just a road settle from the win. So why not? Just go for it. Wow, and after all that, blue doesn't even get army. I wonder if he actually didn't have a knight. Big roll, big roll. Whew. Big 7. Yeah, not a very good block there. I think the thing here, I guess I don't mind the 6 because it is a big play with the brick port, but you probably want to be consider. Look at this. What are you going to do, man? You might want to consider even blocking the rare resource, something like the 11, but the 6 is a big roll. I totally understand. It's just hard. You can't stop me. I've got so much production at this point. So now it looks like 11 is the city. 9 is not the win, but it's hella close. It is the pop. 4 is a win, so that is an option. Yeah, I mean, however you guys want to do this, doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. 1931 game. A little bit of shenanigans from blue there. I don't know what was going on. Blue, black, red, like I'm just building roads and winning the game while they're all destroying each other. I think I would have been too focused on getting a 3-1 port with that positioning. Well, there's no 3-1 port here that's easily accessible. And the problem is, like, let's say you go for the 3-1 on the 12. It's too slow, and you don't get the boosted production. So I think the brick port was a nice play for us. I think the wheat port's fine, just to kind of make the Super 6 going. Sometimes you just got to be like, hey, I'm going to produce, and I'm going to enjoy it. But I think the big takeaway from this game is going back to the position here, is to realize back here somewhere, wherever I was making my placement, you have to think about your advantage. Going for army, which is what a lot of you guys and girls said, like, it's not that you can't win with it. It's just you're making your life a little bit more difficult because you don't have a win condition that's easily obtainable. You have to beat 3 or 2 other players for it versus who takes road from us here? Absolutely nobody. And frankly, we almost won army too. All right. So here's the thing. That was a quicker video. I want to run into the next game. Okay, so this is also another short game. We'll try to get some insight. This one is crazy. This one's going to be crazy. So essentially the way this worked is I lost game 1, 2, and 3. I'm like, shit, this sucks. And going into this game, I won. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. All right. And then I think where do we end? So this is where I was at. I'm rocking a 47% win rate, frame control, 1931. So essentially I need 2 wins to get me into the top here. Just so, by the way, you guys know, I'm also GM Pied Piper. There was one point, people are going to think I'm cheating. That's fine. They can think whatever they want. I actually had 4 accounts in the top 10 this season. I'm not even joking. I was like cranking out games this season. So I'm GM Pied Piper. I had Sandy Sue. And then what was the other account? Chaos Ladder, I think, was also in there somewhere. All right, but we are 2 games away. I think one more win will put us into like that 1950 territory. Maybe 1945, and then one more game would take us to number 1. So let's go to game number 5. All right, Danny Crew, we got game number 2 of this video here. Coming off a win from the last game. Now we are in the 3rd position. Let's do our evaluation of the board. There should be one thing here that stands out extremely to you on this board. What is it, guys? What's the piece that stands out the most on this board to you? You know, and keep in mind, we're going through all the individual resources. Tito, there's low wheat. Yeah. This man is colorblind and doesn't know his numbers. The ore. What the hell is that? Vish? Low? Don't know what that is. We're not at positions yet. We're not throwing out numbers yet, guys. We're looking at individual resources. Remember, this is what we learned. The ore is abysmal. There's one good ore spot. And that's like, you know, in 3rd and 4th position, that's kind of frustrating to see sometimes because you kind of feel like, damn, I've got a tough game here. So 695, pretty monster spot. 693, actually 693 is pretty sexy. I like 693 a lot. 8510 is pretty nice. I do think 3rd and 4th get a good game here. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But I think 695 is a no-brainer. Interesting to note, does the 695 get good wheat? This is the thing. I don't know if 695 gets good wheat here because if 693, 910 11, 834, guess we'll see how it pans out. We know Drew likes the 693. We'll see. I played Freeze a few times as well. I know he's a pretty good player in general. Gray Man, I played in a Delita video. I think it was our first video ever. I played Gray Man. Don't ask me how I remember these things. I just do. And of course, as suspected, the 695. Black instantly picked 693. That might have been my editing, but okay. What do we take here? I think there's a pretty good case. Looking at this board, you want to find how you get some kind of advantage. Well, you're not getting a good ore. I mean, I guess you could. You could definitely play off of this situation over here. But then, like, maybe the wheat gets locked out. I don't know. I think the 8-5-10 is just good here. We're going to say we're going to get the best wood and brick. I generally find picks that give me compatible resources. So if I can get a spot that gives me wood or brick or ore and wheat, those are the main compatible pairings. So if you can get one of those, then you're golden. So I really like the 8-5-10 here. And we've got a few outs. I think 8-3-4 is an idea. Playing off of maybe the 9 wheat's an idea. So yeah, we're playing the 8-5-10 meta. Pretty good. 3 unique resources, 3-1 port, pointing left. You could also point up as well. I think securing the 5-2 is an idea, but not necessary here. And just so you know as well, you can always go back to the original video, see some of the commentary in terms of what I was thinking in the moment. I will make the claim, I have never dubbed over any of my videos. Some people have accused me of doing that. I don't know why they would ever accuse me of doing that, but I've always been real with you guys, so you can always go back and watch the authentic messages that I had. It's kind of a tough game here for 4th. I don't know, like, what do they want to do here? Like 4-5-11 right kind of looks good, so you can go to the 5-10. But what do you play with that? I'm not entirely sure. Ben's saying, yeah, 4-5-11 to the 5-10. All right, he sees it. He knows. 9-4-11 right, maybe for second pick. Let's see. 6-3-11. Oh, look. I don't remember this game, but I'm going to react. I'm going to react exactly how I probably did. Like, I'm sure I'm, like, moaning about this pick. That's a horrible pick. That's a bad pick. No. All right. Oh, my God. What? Crew. This, I want you to remember. This is motivation for you, okay? Thank you, Left Box. This is a 1930 ELO top 5 game. Okay? You guys want to get to the top and you see, like, you start seeing stuff like this in the 1930s, 1950s. It's like, you can do it. You're better than that. I know you're better than that. Okay. So So this is actually a really interesting exercise for you guys. I don't know. I totally forgot he did this. I'll remember it now. This is so funny. All right, that's bad. I see what he's doing, but I also see how bad it is too. So I don't like it. He obviously wants to get to the 8. He wants to have the 8, the 5, and the 6, and then he has like a touch of wooden break. It's wonky. It's weird. What time are you playing live? Hippie dude. We'll play a game after this one. Guess the game and the players have grown a long time since then, partially thanks to you. I think so. Yeah, yeah. This completely shocks me. This is a puzzle. What do you guys do here? This is actually very similar to the last situation. You have to calculate this position out because there's actually some very interesting nuance here. 8-4-3. Okay, you're saying 8-4-3. 8-4-3. Or blue just crushes. Black won't take 8-4-3. Take 8-4-3. All right. Any other ideas? 9-4-11. Go to 8-4-3. I'm going to shock you guys. I need some more answers, though. 8-4-3 bottom side. Oh, there's another guy saying just don't pick up any wheat, any ore. 9-4-11 to 9-10-2. Okay, 8-4-3. So this is an exercise in calculation, right? Side by side. Lucky Lundy, 9-4-11 left. So, first of all, are we going for army or are we going for road? Army or road? Army or road? We need an answer here. I'm going to give you... All right, road. Road. All right, it's road. We're going for road. So then you got to start asking yourself, what's the best setup that gives me the best road game? Army, get out of here. Get out of here. No, we're going for road. I think we mentioned taking the 8-5-10. The problem is with the 8-4-3 is that blue takes 9-4-11 points left. And then he's the person that has the road network, that has the 9-10-2. This is a problem. So yes, okay, blue gets an 8-4-3. It's a good setup. He's got a lot to work with. But 9-4-11 left almost always gives us the 9-10-2 and the road game. So this is where you got to put your hat on here and start to think, how do I build the best setup for a win condition? Don't get caught up in trying to play overly defensive. Don't get caught up in, worrying about, like, okay, blue's going to be strong, but so are you. I think too many players think defensively versus 9-4-11. We know the 9-10-2 is open. So the calculation here is 9-4-11 left. Black takes the 8-3-4 because he gets the road to the wheat port, which is good for him as well. And then blue gets the 8-3-4. And what we can do is we can point the finger at blue. Oh, blue's strong. Blue's really, they got the best incredible setup. He gets all the blocks while we have a clear advantage on taking road. Now, we do have some challenges, right? Like, we don't have ore. That's kind of a problem. But you got to start thinking a little bit more deeper about position and trying to play the best game that you can. Boop saying 9-4-11. Oh, come on. I mean, I just gave that away. Yeah, so you can see Oh, that was a fast cut from me. And then we're putting black onto the 8-4-3 down here. Blue never takes... No. Blue should never take the 9-10-2. First of all, you're giving red the 8-4-3, which is like, punish the guy that makes this mistake. 8-4-3 is just good for blue. He gets a great game. He gets an incredible game. Arguably the best game on the board, but I think in terms of us fighting road, 9-4-11 left's our best shot here. If blue's smart, he would take the 9-10-2. Nah, I think that's overly... Like, on paper, we have a good game, but I don't think we have an incredible game. I think we just have to work well here. Yeah, blues, look, I'm not going to lie. Black's in a great spot here. Blue's in a great spot. Red, you've always got next game, buddy. Here we're going to take the space. I think the ability to pick up the 9-10-2 and a 10 roll is perfect. And a 4 roll. We're just cooking here. There's kind of this idea when you're playing for a win condition where if you can have an unblockable setup, you're in the best position, right? And look at blue getting solo blocked, ridiculous. So, for instance, if you can have double wheat, double ore, double sheep, that's an incredible ore wheat sheep engine because you can't stop it. If I can have double wood and double brick, that's a really good road engine because you can't stop it. I also like that feature too, the double wood, the double brick. But I want to say something. We do have the 2 ore. We do have the 2 ore, so we're not oreless. And look at this. Look. You see this? You see blue getting soloed on the 9, getting soloed on the 8. Like, people's brains are short-circuiting because of how good, quote-unquote good, blue's position is. So just keep that in mind. You know, sometimes having the best position in these situations is not always an advantage, especially if you're getting the robber in every case. Okay, we had a perfect situation, perfect rolls here. If you were blue and you had such a disgusting setup, how would you play the game? Yeah, it's I think you want to get a city on the 695 as quick as you can, and ideally get to a good port. I mean, you're just playing production and devs most likely. Yeah, this reputation of having this ridiculous setup is really tough to deal with, right? He's getting soloed on the 9, he's getting soloed on the 8. Sometimes these heuristics and these biases that people have can be very difficult to overcome, even if you have a god position like blue does. Yeah, so blue saying why, and he said, blue, you know why. Right? So, like, of course I'm going to point the finger at him. Very strong win rate here, 61%. He's looking strong, looking good. All right, so far the rolls have been great. We got the 10, we got the 4, we got the settle. Now it's just a case of, like, we're going to have to work the city angle here as much as we can. I'm going to keep the pressure on blue. I think one thing I've noticed in ranked games is having a narrative. It's very common sometimes what people do is people will point a finger at one player. Now, maybe it might not be true or not, but they'll point a finger at blue and say, blue's the strongest, he's got a ridiculous setup. And people will block that player just to not get blocked, like collectively. Black is a sleeper threat. This is true. Black has a great port. But what is nice is that we could also start to put pressure on black and let blue start to buy some devs, right? So there is competition against black's port here. How do you win with road? Whenever I play this strat, I feel like it fizzle out. Yeah, so with road, guys, there's a few things you need. You need a city. So you need to like proactively build cities when you're playing road. You need space, which means you need settle spots. You need like fast settle spots. And ideally, either you can grab an easy VP or you can grab a second city. Because at a certain point, you're going to max out in terms of just settlements. So one of the most common structures is VP, 5 settles, city, road. That's like the blueprint for the perfect road game. Like, write that down. So now, another bias is how good a port is. So now, black can also get a lot of heat potentially for having the 2-for-1 port. But okay, we lose a wheat, no big deal. Top shelf advice. Yeah, I'm telling you, there are structures. There are patterns of how you play positions. I'm just letting you know. Play for 1 city, 5 settles, VP, longest road. Everything else is some kind of derivative or variation of that structure. And the 2! All right, the 2 is beautiful. Look at this. We're cooking. We're cooking. Now, there you go. One way you can play Catan is you can be good. Another way is you can be lucky. I like to think I'm a mixture of both. Here we go. We have our setup. We have the VP we need. Now it's a case of just building out the 5 settles in the city. That's it. So that's what my brain says is once I pull the VP, city, 5 settles. We win. VP city, 5 settles road is only 9 points. You might want to count that again, my friend. VP, city, longest road, 5 settles. 10. Okay, so perfect. I mean, this has been one of the best starts to a game that you can ever imagine. All right, we pull the early VP, we get the 9-10-2. And now the board's kind of building up a little bit. Blue getting a road builder is pretty good for them. It definitely helps them quite a bit. So getting the 6-11-12. We're cooking, though. Black's also doing well. They've got the port. Now they're getting soloed Little bit aggressive. I think maybe the 8's worth a play, but now we get the 9 looking good. I'm pretty happy with that. I think one thing you need to be conscious of, protecting settle spots. As a road player, space is one of your biggest assets. Getting plowed here by black would be devastating. So I definitely see me dropping road as a priority here so that I can preserve the road settle and then continue to work my road game. So be conscious of that. I think seeing that plow is as an opportunity for red or black should be noted. Okay, so we're looking for trades. We're looking for deals. This isn't risk. 10s are rolling in. 9's rolling in. So we're looking to see if we can drop a road here. Definitely should be preserving the 5. Yeah. I'm glad I agree with Pass Drew. 10 coming in strong. We're getting some hella rolls too. I mean, 10, 11, 2. 10 again. Oh my goodness. Now, blue's kind of set himself up pretty nicely here. So we have the settle. So we're going through this pretty quickly. I think a lot of players, going back, a lot of players would port for the settle here. When you are 4-for-1ing, you can't afford to be wasting it on cards you produce. So typically, I would say port for rare resources. In this situation, ore is probably going to be your best 4-for-1. Because look, there's so many situations where you could next orbit roll the 8 and the 4. It's not that critical that you settle. But the pop could be utility, it could be monos, it could be another VP, it could be road builders. So here the pop makes a lot of sense. Don't port for the settle. Big mistake from a lot of players there. Yeah. And a knight's not bad, right? Look, right there. See, if you port it for the settle, you would have a dead brick in your hand. It's just like, no need. No need. Go get the utility. Yeah, I haven't seen this game in... Well, I posted this like almost 11 months ago, so 10 months ago or whatever it is. Wow, we're not getting robbed. That's pretty incredible. Okay, we are over. Perfect. So, interesting situation. I didn't play the knight because I'm at 7 cards. Paid off. Sometimes I take the risk, but here we've got a good hand. We don't need more brick. So, I think that's a situation where I'm willing to roll first, then play the knight. And if we can pull an ore here, then we're golden. Because the subtle pop would be amazing. Okay, that's fine. I'm also tempted potentially to go for the ore again, so I'm getting aggressive here. Don't always recommend doing this. Looks like I'm going for the ore pluck, and if I can get it, there it is, perfect. So tracking another VP. Oh my goodness. I typically recommend don't get aggressive like that, but if you know the odds are good, like knowing that red, I think, had 2 ore in his hand, I took the guaranteed pluck. So it gave me a really nice hand. Settle pop. Pulling a second VP, massive there, massive. Yeah, these games are gold. These games were gold. I mean, you don't get the number 1 by making bad plays. Unless, you know, there's a version of Catan that I'm unaware of. So this all subtle details, right? Little 1%. But now, yeah, rolling pretty well. Running like the sun. Wheat's great. And at this point, we're going to kind of work our way over to the 5-2. Rolling like a god here. So now, one way we can win this game, guys. Road settle. That's 7. Longest road is 9. And then we city, right? Road settle 7. Road 9. I guess we city from there. We got a lot of ways we can wrap this up. Wow, we're still not getting blocked. Mistakes, man. Mistakes. You know, as a rule, you won't always treat every... Yeah, insane here. You want to treat every down dev as a point, right? Because I have 2 victory points. Here gives us a pretty good situation. We make the trade, road settle. 7 points. There you go. It's that simple. And now we have the 3-1 flexibility. So many helpful attempts. I love it. I love it. I try my best. Yeah, also, we could win with a VP. We don't need a city, necessarily. But 2 VPs is just so goated here. Also, too, something to note, as blue it's a little strange to solo black there because me having down devs, like I could have army in my back pocket. So like you probably want to see what's going on with my devs here to figure out like how close am I? Do I have army? Do I have VPs? Yeah, tempo on orange. The 2! 2 is massive. Gotta wait here, folks. That would be a city trade. Also another city trade. Oh my goodness. Look at this. There we go. We got our city trade. 8, 5, 10. Mistakes are being made. All right. I mean, now we're just like, you know, 0 card meta. It doesn't even matter, right? 5 rolls, massive. 2 gasm. 2 could roll. 2 could roll. This is a little bit unnecessary. Like, mistakes right there. Why are you leaving the 8 open? You know I got a bunch of wood in my hand, brother. And I believe that's a good go. There you go. 1946. 2 was the beast. The trades, the 2. Look how close. Look how close we are. We can go see, look at the stats here. Dandy wins. I mean, you could just, I mean, I'm sure somebody's seen this video before. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even close. Was even close. It just shows you, right? We would not have this game if we had the 8-4-3, right? The ability to connect. Like, we have a road of 8 because we took the 9-4-11. So I want you to be thinking about this in your future games. And where did we end? So here you go. 48.4%, 62 games in 1946. So we are officially at this point 1 game away. But I will tell you, we got many games left. But I think the key thing for you to see here is that the 8-4-3 actually hurts your road game. 9-4-11 is the better pick. Double wood, double brick, longest road, and of course the 2. The clutch 2, of course. And if you can pull 2 VPs, then, you know, more power to you. All right, Danny Crew, there you go. We got another dub. And if we're looking at this now, we are 1 win away from getting number 1. Lots of good things you can learn here. I really appreciate you showing up, bringing your good vibes, bringing your best energy that you can. Dandy, out.